I'm not gonna deny it. I'm like psychic or something. Since, from the beginning, since Arceus was announced last year, I said that this game will be the future of Pokemon games. I even had lost my voice, like I just lost it right now, as you can tell, when I made that video a year ago. But Pokemon Arceus is painting a very, very promising picture. Now, I'll be waiting for my bouquet of flowers from each person who watches this video. I really like roses, so, whenever you like. Okay, now seriously. Criticism and Pokemon are inseparable twins. A new Pokemon game is announced, people are waiting for it, it's leaked a week early, and all that week before the release date, Twitter and YouTube are full of people saying,
"This is the worst game Game Freak ever made."
They'll be saying, "How could they do this to us?
How come all the almost 900 Pokemon are not in this 32 gigabyte cartridge?
Game Freak has ruined my life."
The release date then arrives and ends up being the best-selling Pokemon video game in the history of the franchise. And it's rinse and repeat. Look, I'm not saying that Game Freak shouldn't be criticized. I mean, they are the largest and most lucrative entertainment franchise in the world. They're bigger than Star Wars, for God's sake. That company, that media franchise that is owned by Disney and is, supported by Disney, has Disney money behind it. It's bigger than that. But any criticism that is thrown at Pokemon Legends Arceus must be based on constructive criticism, as Pokemon has finally done what it has been asked to do for the past 25 years. Since the announcement of the video game, everyone speculated that we would finally have the video game that we all dreamed of since 1996. An open world full of Pokemon where we can explore and capture all kinds of Pokemon until our energy runs out. However, that dream was somewhat crushed when we found out that Pokemon Legends Arceus would be a bit more like Monster Hunter, where the player travels to certain areas where they can explore, catch, and battle Pokemon. And these areas could only be accessed through a main town. In this town, one can buy clothing, items, and basically do any and all administrative tasks that a Pokemon game asks of the player. And well, that's just not correct. The areas in Legend Arceus are very expansive with a lot to explore and tons of Pokemon to catch. And I kind of like it better that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was one of my biggest concerns with the game, that the areas were nothing more than empty areas filled with nothing to do, as was the case on several occasions and areas in Breath of the Wild. Just a heads up, I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild because, let's be honest, they took some inspiration from that game. However, one will never find themselves with nothing to do when moving from one side of the area to the other. These expeditions are made much more interesting by encountering the first alpha Pokemon, an Alpha Rapidash. And I admit, I was quite scared the first time I saw this huge ass beast. It's a bit intimidating when at first all you have is a Rowlet and a low level Bidoof. And this is something that caught my attention. That finally, a Pokemon video game does not limit what one can experience in a linear way. Being able to fight an Alpha Rapidash at the beginning of the game is something exceptional and very Breath of the Wild on the part of Pokemon. These Alpha Pokemon are Pokemon that have overpowered stats, are larger than normal Pokemon, and are highly aggressive. In this game, the player can actually die. I mean, not literally, as this is still a children's video game. Well, I like to think of it more as like a teenage video game, so to speak. But you get what I mean. You black out. You basically have to come back to camp and restart, much like you black out in Monster Hunter games. The variety in mon sizes, the frequency at which shinies pop up, etc. This is just all incredible and well balanced. The world feels full, feels complete, and is very, very fun to explore. But how about we go over the positives first for this game? The capture mechanics. The capture mechanics are exciting. There's stealthy options with which you can approach Pokemon, although it can be clunky at times, but it's still exciting seeing an alpha Pokemon, a shiny Pokemon, or a rare Pokemon and creeping up to them. That just kind of gives you this sense and experience of exploration and it makes the whole actual experience of capturing a Pokemon a more engaging one. That you then take aim with your favorite Pokeball, whatever your preferred Pokeball choice is, and throw it at the Pokemon. Of course, there's other things that can help you capture these Pokemon, such as throwing berries, throwing stunts, and hitting the Pokemon in the back with the Pokeball, which they call back shots. Music, wow. Let me tell you, man, music in Pokemon games has never missed. It's always been amazing. And the music in this game, I think, does a great job at visualizing what the actual issue I had with Breath of the Wild. My biggest issue I had with Breath of the Wild, and it was the lack of the music. The lack of the music in the game was good at times, but all the time just wasn't really fun. In my opinion, it just felt very empty. But Legends Arceus does a well enough job at balancing both, having sound design or minimal music to kind of build an environment, an experience around wherever you are, and actually having full-blown Pokemon music just blasting through the game. On the one hand, the music is incredible, charming, and overall beautiful. Yes, I used the B word. And whenever they decide to not use it, it creates an ambience of wonder and excitement. I remember first listening to the theme that plays at night in Obsidian Fieldlands as I start seeing Drifloons pop up here and there in the distance. That first time was actually magical. I was so excited. I was just amazed by the music. It made me feel like I was entering an entirely different world from what I had already experienced during the daytime. What I'm trying to say is that music is definitely this game's best asset, and it has always been Pokemon game's biggest asset, and it's not as different in this game. Battling mechanics, finally, Jesus Christ, we finally get to seamlessly transition from exploring the world to battling. And most importantly, the battles are begun by us. Yes, the trainers. We get to choose who to fight and what to fight. There was nothing more annoying than having to evade Pokemon purposely because you just did not want to fight them, or when one would approach you from behind without having enough time to escape or react. It always felt a little annoying being engaged in these battles without you wanting to engage. I mean, sure, being able to see Pokemon in the overworld was a great addition to the series this generation, but still, trying to avoid every single Pokemon when you haven't got the means to fight them, capture them, or sometimes even running away from them might prove difficult. It's quite annoying, and this actually made the trek from place to place, town to town, rather unenjoyable in my opinion. But however, in this game, you don't have to actually interact or battle with any of the Pokemon. If you're not planning to catch them, you can just run along and ignore them. Of course, they'll try to attack you, but it doesn't engage you in a battle. In this game, there are also fighting styles, meaning you can choose a normal kind of attack, an agile style attack, which deals less damage but makes it so you sometimes get to make 2 moves before your opponent, and strong style, which deals a lot more damage than a normal style attack. This range of options is actually quite useful when you're trying to weaken a Pokemon to capture them, for example. You'll sometimes want to use a strong style attack to get them down to the yellows, and then using an agile style attack to get them down to the reds, without flat out killing them. I enjoyed the ability to pick and choose between these styles, and I hope this is something that's kept throughout future Pokemon games because it just adds a lot more arsenal to your attacks, and it makes it easier to capture some of these Pokemon that actually require you to weaken them. Crafting. I never had a real issue with the way past Pokemon games dealt with item management and acquisition. They were always readily available and fairly cheap, to be honest. However, I'm not gonna lie, just having to go to a Pokemart to buy potions or Pokeballs was a bit of a hassle. In this game, well, no such thing exists, and there's no such thing as a Pokemart. No such thing as readily available Pokeballs, if we're being fully honest. But this is where crafting comes in and saves the day. My god, what a godsend this new mechanic is. The crafting is obviously not as engaging as I like to, but it's at least very helpful and gives you a reason to explore and look for materials to craft everything from potions, revives, Pokeballs, and many more expendables. Crafting actually forces you to go and explore and try and find different kinds of berries, different kinds of seeds, different kinds of anything, medicinal leaves, everything and anything that might help you in crafting items that you can not just use but also sell. For example, you can craft this polka doll out of 3 pieces of wood, which can be sold for a lot of money. And also, I'm not gonna go too in depth as to this certain item that you can craft so you can sell for a lot of money, because this is a bit of a spoiler, but know that you can craft other high value items to create bigger value, higher valued items that you can later sell for a very premium price. And this helps you buy Pokeballs, helps you buy other stuff that you might just not want to craft or don't have the materials to craft. Now, exploration. Now, I'm a huge fan of exploring. I'm a huge fan of exploration in video games. I'm the type of dude that'll explore every nook and cranny of a level before advancing to the next section. I legitimately get upset when I accidentally advance the story without first exploring everything that the level has to offer. And Legends makes this exploration rather fun. Now, of course, it's not Breath of the Wild levels of exploration, of course. But the exploration is still extremely embellished by the random Pokemon you can see in the distance. Although it's a bit of a short distance for my liking, but it is running on the Switch and it is Game Freak. So, you gotta sometimes pick your battles. The shiny or jumpy orbs you can see move and glisten in the distance, and the oh so frightening space-time distortion that I won't get into too much to avoid spoilers. But this is the Pokemon game I've been waiting for as far as exploration goes. Just being able to see some red eyes in the distance and know that that's an Alpha Snorlax, an Alpha Rapidash, an Alpha Baneri is frightening, is completely frightening. And I think this is what makes this game more realistic, because to be honest, if Pokemon were real and I saw a huge ass Ursa ring, best believe I'm gonna turn around and run straight back home. Like, seriously, book it, man, because I'm not trying to fight or die at the hands of an Ursa ring or any kind of Pokemon, to be honest. So the exploration and you just bumping into these random Pokemons that if you avoided spoilers, you would be quite surprised to see that, oh, Baneris can be that big? I don't know. It just makes the game more enjoyable, more engaging, and a lot more fun to explore and to run around. Now, of course, not everything is great. It is a Pokemon game after all. It has its faults. So let's go through the negatives. Personalization. I feel Pokemon is like, seriously, they just hate anybody who's not white and has straight hair. To be honest, like, let's keep it a buck, man. Pokemon and personalization have never gotten along. They're like oil and water. Pokemon devs see a black hairstyle and go, that's complicated. It's rather disappointing to still see the lack of diversity in personalization. Besides the sad state of affairs that Pokemon hair finds itself in, I was rather disappointed even in the selection of clothing. It's definitely a step up from previous games, don't get me wrong. And the time setting helps a ton with this aspect. The kimonos, the sandals, the rice hat, which I love, shout out to Ghost of Tsushima, really adds a nice touch to the time period this game takes place in. However, it still feels limited in the selection of clothing, and it kind of felt that there was only one kind of clothing for every area that you explored. I mean, it's still nice. The designs are really nice to look at. I love the everyday kimonos. I love the karate gi. I love a lot of the things that is offered as far as clothing, but it still feels rather limited for what Pokemon really is. This is you embarking, you yourself as a trainer, embarking on exploring the world of Pokemon. Please, man, just let me grow a beard. Please, let me just put a beard on my character. Please. I'm not asking for a lot. Now, other shortcomings for the game are things that are more functional rather than fundamental. First off, it's something that actually worries me if it's an indication of how Game Freak operates. The ability to access your Pokemon boxes from anywhere in the game through your party menu was a godsend. It's the best implementation that Pokemon games could ever get. No longer you had to trek all the way back to a Pokemon Center and access a PC to swap Pokemons. However, in Arceus, the ability to do that is quite literally just taken away. And I understand this is pre-technology, but come on. In order to swap your party, you must trek back to camp if you're out in one of Hizui's regions and talk to the man next to your tent. Or if you're in the main area of the game, you need to talk to the person in front of the corral with all of your Pokemon. This can be rather annoying when all you're trying to check, for example, is if you're not sure whether you're already caught or having released a specific Pokemon. It puts a stop to your exploration by having to force you to either, I don't know, wait till you're done whatever you're doing out in the field and come back, or quite literally just come back and interrupt your exploration. I feel this was just an oversight, or rather they were just trying to make the game seem more realistic for the time, but at the same time, it is a video game. Who cares? Let me access my Pokemon from everywhere and anywhere in the world. Come on. Now this is a huge one, and this is one of my biggest disappointments, if not the biggest disappointment in my opinion. Multiplayer. Non-existent. Next topic. But in all seriousness, multiplayer is severely lacking in this game. It just lacks it, to be honest. The missed opportunities with not having co-op, double battles, etc. It's just amazing to me. Seriously, it's surprising. The fact that multiplayer is only limited to finding and returning lost satchels from players that blacked out, and trading Pokemon is extremely disappointing. It's already bad enough that there's not many trainer battles in the game, and it's made worse by the fact that you can't fight or team up with friends to explore the expansive regions of Hisui. I understand that this game is essentially a prequel to the Pokemon games, as you are the first trainer to set out and complete a Pokedex, so having no trainer battles kinda makes sense since nobody really knows how to raise and, train Pokemon. But this is also a fictional work of art. It's a video game. Please just let us fight people on the internet. I don't like that the only place that I can fight people is Twitter right now. It's not fun. Let me battle them with Pokemon, please. But anyway, in conclusion, the Pokemon series, after 25 years of never straying away from the mainline formula, has finally tried something new, and I think it's a good start. This game feels like Game Freak is laying the fundamentals of what is surely to become the future of the Pokemon series. And I hope that they actually build upon this game and this game's mechanics, and not just treat this new formula as a one-time gimmick. Because it's not. It's far from it. It's far from a spin-off. It's far from a gimmick. I know Game Freak said that this is officially not a spin-off game, it is a mainline game, but I feel like a lot of people still might think of this game as a gimmick, as something that's just a one-time thing. Now that the foundation is built, all you need to build is upon it. And also, please just let me battle random people, please. That's all I want. I got a lot of pent-up anger and it needs to be released ASAP. But folks, what do you think? Me, I love this game. Sure, it has a lot of shortcomings. I'm not gonna deny it, but it is a good start, as I said. I still haven't beaten the game, the main campaign, but I've been having so much fun just exploring, capturing Pokemon, filling out the Pokedex entries, doing the side quests. The side quests are my jam. I love doing side quests in these kinds of video games. Like seriously, I'm up to almost 30 hours into the game, and I think I'm only up to the 4th area, and it's amazing. It's amazing what this game has done. It's finally kind of reached its Breath of the Wild moment with how easy it is to get distracted when you're trying to go and do the main story, because there's just so much to do and so much to see. Especially there's so many Pokemon to catch, and it's just fun. It's fun bumping into random alpha Pokemon, and you're just like, whoa. This is scary. This is challenging. And I love just how challenging the Pokemon battles actually are. Some of these Pokemon do not care. They'll kill your whole team. Seriously, they are overpowered. And I love it. I love it. It's just fun. It's fun, makes it challenging. And like I said, this is not a children's game anymore, in the sense that it's a little bit more difficult. Pokemon games are really casual. They've been traditionally pretty casual games, but this game actually feels like a challenge, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. But tell me, have you played the game? What do you think this game's biggest strengths are? What are these game's biggest weaknesses? What do you think DLC is going to look like for this game? Because I'm sure DLC is going to come. I hope it's as good as it was for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm pretty sure of it. It's going to be great. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Pokemon does with the future of the franchise, because this is the refresher. This is the innovation that the game needed. But folks, I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, because it really doesn't matter. You can't see the dislikes, but every little bit helps. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I spend most of my waking hours yelling into the void and where I'm fighting people. Not really, but you know. And also make sure to follow me on Twitch, where I try and stream pretty consistently. I've been doing mostly of my Pokemon playthroughs over there on twitch.tv/TrueFernie. So do come around. It is a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun with this game. I'm going to keep streaming it. I love it. Additionally, please make sure to join our Discord server, where we talk anything and everything gaming, anime, TV, movies, anything that might interest you as my viewer, even Pokemon. But folks, please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. Pokemon, please just let me not take care of myself over on the internet. Just let me go and get my ass kicked by anybody and everybody out there in Hisui. Please enable multiplayer. I beg you. All right, peace.